and location of your emergency.
Breaking news out of North Idaho. Moscow police are investigating a homicide on King Road.
Is she breathing?
No.
So 5'10", all black. Could you see what color his eyebrows were or anything like that?
No, I don't remember what his eyes look like either.
Officers discovered the bodies of Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Maddie Mogen, and Kaylee Goncalves, but no weapon has been located at this time.
Arrested. That's 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger in custody today.
Mr. Kohberger allegedly stalked one of the victims. That's false.
We do not have evidence that the defendant had direct contact with 1122 or with residents of 1122, but we can put his phone in that area. There are many residences in that area. It's a dense population of mostly college-related occupants.
Everything is alleged.
Hey guys, it has been a crazy ass freaking day. Holy shit. It has been a crazy ass day. Now, for those of you who heard that Zelda was sick, we took her to the vet and they said that she has some sort of inflamed intestine issue, that it wasn't anything too serious, no obstructions or anything like that. They gave her 2 shots while we were there, not like vaccine shots, but like one for nausea and one for inflammation. And then they sent her home with some powder stuff, which I honestly had already bought, something very similar to it, but this is like a veterinary grade, so it'll be better. And then a medication I have to give her. And they said that for me not to freak out if she doesn't eat anything until even like maybe even to all the way to freaking the end of Wednesday to Thursday, that for me not to like freak out if she doesn't eat for the next couple of days. But as long as she gets her appetite back in the next few days, then it should be okay. And we actually got home and I guess the nausea meds worked for her for a few minutes, because she did take like 4 little bites of her wet cat food, but then that was it. She stopped eating after that. And she's just kind of been hanging out like in the chair going back and forth, but she's like walking around. She seems okay. She's hanging out in the living room with the other 2 cats right now in the cat tree. I didn't want to bring her in here and mess with her because she's comfortable. So I told them that if she comes off the tree and comes towards my room, to make sure that they let her in. So they're watching her. Oh my God. What a freaking day. Oh, and on top of that, is there something going on with T-Mobile? Does anybody know if there's something going on with T-Mobile? Because I have Mint Mobile. We have Mint Mobile. And like me and my son are on the same plan, but literally, we leave the house, we get a half a mile down the road with the GPS on to get us to the vet. And my map starts just redirecting. My service went to emergency only. But my son's was fine. And he's literally the child on my bill. Like, he's the secondary line. It shows he's a minor, all the things. I don't know what the hell. There is an outage. Okay, I never even got a notification or anything. And I was even messaging, because freaking appointment was at 4. We get there at 3:45. They don't see her till 5:30. Oh my God. So I was sitting there trying to figure out on my phone what was wrong and going to like Mint Mobile and like talking to the bot guy and like doing all kinds of things and like messing with all the settings and stuff. And I couldn't figure it out. I never saw anything online about there being an outage. Of course. But my son's phone was fine. I ended up having to use his hotspot when we were there just so that I can like send messages back and forth. That'll make no sense. His phone was okay, but mine was fine. We're on the same network. We're on the same bill. Wowza. Okay. So let's see what else has been going on since we went live earlier when all of this happened. Someone just sent me something. Now, apparently Steve Goncalves is going to be on Jesse Weber at 10 o'clock Central. It looks like it's going to be a live. You're not supposed to live stream alive. You're just not supposed to live stream alive. Okay. So we could do it the same way that we do our documentary things, where I'm going to like be listening to it and you guys are going to be listening to it on your own, but we're going to be talking shit over here about whatever the hell's going on. So we have about an hour until that happens. So until then, let's take a look at a couple of things, because Sarah did post the documents themselves to Twitter. Lady Di sent me where it was showing up on the iCourt portal earlier, like as soon as it started showing up. So I want to show you guys what this stuff looks like, and I want to show you the handwritten petition that was filed. And just so, in case some of you guys don't know, the Mike Baker guy that I guess Kohberger's been talking to on the phone, he's the same one that Bryan's sister Melissa interviewed with some months back. So I guess because he seemed pretty fair and, pretty fair in his reporting, the family felt comfortable. And he ended up, the article mentions them having a phone conversation, and then the statement that we read was sent to Mike Baker on last night. Now I have added this to the share drive, so we're gonna read over the statement one more time before we start looking through the rest of the information. So this was released earlier today. And this is the second document that we went over earlier today. We read over the article first. And then we read this. This is a really confident sounding statement. Very confident sounding. This was sent at 9:23 p.m. last night. And it says, over a year later, it is self-evident that in State v. Kohberger, justice was not served. Unanswered questions seem to multiply with each piece of discovery unsealed, and the public demands the truth. Unfortunately, the truth shall never be derived from the state's myopic narrative, a work of fiction which has yet to evolve since the PCA was released nearly 4 years ago, and its faulty premises were never challenged at trial. Circumnavigated by a broken plea, the trial never provided the public and clarity conducive to closure, and justice shall remain objectively miscarried unless that plea is withdrawn. I hereby declare my intention to enter a not guilty plea and welcome the state the opportunity to prove their case at trial, as well as to again file for the death penalty. My actual innocence is my truth, and the plea hinged on by false promises and blatant disinformation must be withdrawn. Thank you for all who believe in my innocence and continue to critically analyze the case. I send my love to my family, who have never wavered in their belief in who I am, their belief in my innocence. Now, I will also say that we also have this statement from the Goncalves family that we can go over. Now, we have read it earlier, but I find something interesting here. We have our buddy Michael right here. He's the one who tried to get some camera work. You guys remember the one where some cameras came back and they were going to cost like $150,000. I believe he's also the one that has done these Idaho 4. They're I don't know. They're like little show things. I was sent one the other day and watched it. It was interesting for sure. There's like it's like a series. He calls it a certain thing. You guys probably know exactly who I'm talking about. But before I read the statement, I will just say that Michael asked the Goncalveses in this post that they posted about this petition, will the Goncalves family agree this time to be interviewed by the prosecution's investigators and provide a victimology statement? And look right here. This idiot Tony is saying, just block this piece of shit. If you look at his page, he's trying to say that he's innocent. Don't put up with this with anyone. They're the ones who refused to talk to the investigators. Shannon Gray had to come into court and had to be like, hey, they were refusing to talk to y'all before I even stepped in. They refused to talk to anyone. The Goncalveses, which means it's Christie's, instant response is a bunch of laughs. Ha, that's funny. Do you think that would have been allowed don't you think that would have been allowed if it was absolutely necessary? We talked to I'm so frustrated with these people. We talked to investigators daily for months. While you complained for months that y'all weren't getting any information, which months were you talking to investigators daily, Christy? Because every time y'all came out, even back in there 4 years ago, all y'all did was boo-day about how they didn't contact you and tell you shit. So how, now that you're going to get called out for your own actions, are you now going to lie and tell people, oh, we talked to them daily for months, while y'all cried the entire time about not being talked to? Which one is it? I'm so sick of her. I'm so sick of her. I'm so sick of her. And people calling him a troll because these idiots that follow these damn Goncalveses so blindly don't know the Goncalveses' own bullshit. They don't know their own bullshit. Do they not watch the hearings? Do they not see what's actually happening? No, of course not. They're so blinded by this fake ass facade that these people have put out that they think somebody asking a legitimate question about a real situation that took place, one that Steve just talked about in that damn strangers conversation interview that they just did, that we just went over. Remember, they wanted to interview us deeply and he got all offended about it and didn't want them talking to him. That's a real situation. And look how these freaking cult members of the Goncalveses act when the Goncalveses are called out for their own bullshit. Block this piece of shit. He's just a troll. That shows how uneducated these fools really are. Holy shit. Holy shit. It is so bad. Cult is what this is. Let's go ahead and read this little statement. My God. Annoying as hell. First off, we are not surprised. Even though Bill Thompson said with the plea, all appeals would be waived. We knew that wasn't factual, you lying assholes. The biggest thing you say with your chest the loudest in all of these interviews is when he waived his right to an appeal. He can't do nothing. Every single freaking interview. So don't sit here and try to save face now and say, we knew that wasn't factual, when that's all y'all talked about. That's all y'all went on. Oh my God, you people are so delusional. He waived his right to appeal. You pro-burgers are just so crazy thinking he's going to be able to do something he legally waived his right to. No, we knew that there was still a chance. We knew that shit could still be popping off. Y'all want to sit here and lie to the public all the time for fake sympathy when this is sad enough and I don't understand it. Anyway, his time to appeal was running out, September to be exact. Yeah, September, and we're still a month and a week away. What you talking about? This could have still waited. What you mean? Time was running out. Check a calendar. Goncalves family statement. The mosquito you just can't seem to swat. Y'all need to get somebody else to write your shit. That is what Kohberger and his following have become to this family. Because y'all don't read documents. We wouldn't be so annoying if you knew what we were talking about, but you're clueless. On purpose. We reread Mr. Baker's story, and he must be so proud of himself for speaking to Mr. Kohberger, because the story didn't have much else in it, other than a guilty man claiming he is innocent. Ooh, once again. Yeah. How many times he's got to tell you? How many times he's got to tell you? Nothing in the story or in Kohberger's statement does he allude to the fact that he did not knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently admit to murdering the 4 victims of this tragedy. So you're illiterate? You don't understand how to read English? Your brain doesn't comprehendo? Reread it. Reread it. Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan. Quite to the contrary, he appeared in court in a hearing in front of a judge with his 4 lawyers. He did this after deciding not to leave his fate and the facts of the case up to a jury to decide his guilt. He never cried wolf. Oh, you really want to talk about cried wolf, babe? Where's Dylan? You really want to talk about cried wolf? You probably should have used different terms for that. Or claimed he was uninformed, pressured, or that there were issues with the discovery that he and his counsel had for 2 years that he thought should have been challenged. They complained about discovery every time they filed a hearing. Every time there was a hearing itself. Every time they filed a motion. Every time there was a hearing, they talked about problems with the discovery. Were you not there? Was it a clone? Are you clueless? Did Steve not come home and reiterate to you what he actually witnessed happening in court? What are you talking about? Yes, he did. 20-something plus freaking times, what you mean? Hello? What? And do you think that if somebody is coerced or threatened, they're going to stand up in court and say yes to those freaking questions? That completely makes the entire process redundant. It erases everything that the plea actually is if he's going to stand up in court right then and there and admit that he was coerced, admit that he was threatened, admit that he was not told information. That's not how that works. Why do these people pretend like they don't live in the same reality that we do? That's crazy. That's crazy. He admitted to guilt and asked whether he actually was guilty? He said yes. I am sure there will be a hearing, as that is how the legal process works, and the defendant will get another day in court. A nice break from his solitary confinement, getting to go for a ride, maybe some different food, photos taken, and the attention all back on him and his innocence. The real issue is that if as much energy was put into honoring the victims in this case as trying to set a guilty man free, there would be statues of the victims on every corner with parks and days honoring their ultimate sacrifice. You Delulu ass bitch. Are you fucking serious right now? You're making them martyrs? What is actually wrong with you? What in the hell is actually wrong with you? There would be statues of the victims on every corner with parks and days honoring their ultimate sacrifice, their lives at the hands of a narcissist? Yes, they were murdered. Don't come over here throwing the word sacrifice into this. What are you talking about? Oh my God. Delulu. Delulu. You know, this is where Olivia gets it from. The crazy ass shit that Olivia writes, she gets it from Christy. Oh my God. Oh my God. Regardless of how this turns out, our family is 100% ready. An actual trial this time, let's go. We are confident he will get the death penalty that he escaped by pleading guilty the first time around. Just an absolute waste of time and taxpayer money. It's a disgrace. So we are moving on. LOL. Really? You're moving on, but your husband's doing an interview in an hour. You're moving on? How many interviews do you already have lined up? How many YouTube channels are you already planning on hitting the rounds of panels on, Christy? Move on. You're not going to move on. You're going to milk this for everything you possibly can until you can't no more, like you're doing now with your fake-ass foundation. Bullshit. I guess I better get me a Death Row Records shirt for every day of the week now because she's so freaking immature. No freaking way. No way. Let me go see. Let me see if I can find something. They're so pathetic. They don't know when to stop, bro. They don't know when to stop. Like, damn, people have been telling them for how long? Something's wrong here. They also know the fact that they sit there and baby Dylan pisses me off so bad because we know exactly what Steve thinks about her behind closed doors. So how can I trust that he's some sort of alpha and not a ballless coward when he can't come out here and tell the public what he really thinks about this innocent little 19-year-old blah, 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 blah. He can tell TikTokers that he has a problem with Dylan. He can tell TikTokers all the shit that the grand jury talked about her. He can tell TikTokers that she should have been charged, that he's suspicious of her and all this crazy ass shit. But when it comes to talking to Ashley Banfield or Brian Enton or the interview room or literally anyone else, he doesn't say a damn word. That's a coward. I don't give a shit. That's a coward. You don't hold that kind of shit in when it comes to the timeline of your daughter's death, especially knowing now what we've already known about how she'd been lying the whole time about drinking. Come on, bro. Wake the hell up. Ugh. Wake the hell up. Let's see. Is it Hang Out with Sean Hannity or is it on Fox? It's probably something on Fox. Yeah, everything over here is from his actual channel. Let's see if I can find it by keyword. If it was on the news, I don't see it on YouTube. Let's see. Lots of stuff about Fauci. Savannah Guthrie. There was one posted. Let me skim through it and see if there's anything on here that says anybody's talking. No. I don't see it. Was it on cable? Yeah, it'll probably post tomorrow then. If it was on cable, it'll post tomorrow or later tonight. I guess we'll see. Just like with Jesse Weber, honestly, like I don't know if it's going to end up being on like if that's going to be like live on cable TV or if it's going to actually be live on News Nation, because News Nation doesn't have like a live coming up on their channel, and that's where the Jesse Weber thing says it's going to be at, is News Nation, not like his own thing with Sidebar or anything like that. Jesse Weber live, maybe. No, these are all older. They don't have anything posted over here. I saw it on Facebook. Yeah, he doesn't have a live with Steve on YouTube scheduled. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not going to do the live TV thing. I'll wait for it to post. Yeah, I checked the Hannity on Fox thing, and I didn't see it on there. If it just happened on live TV today, then it probably will wait. It'll probably wait until tomorrow. Okay, let's look at these documents real quick, and then we'll see what else we can find. But these are the post-conviction relief documents that he filed. And one of these was from a minute before. This one right here. Okay, we'll start with this one. Filed earlier today, July 27th, 2026. There's his information, the address to the prison. 4th District Court, Ada County. Here's the number now, CV0126-15094 for Judge Hippler. I almost wonder if there's a way that it's not the judge. Emailed news post from the G's from Aubrey. Apparently they are sticking with the girls. Are we freaking for real? Are they seriously sticking to the sleeping thing? They were literally just on one of the other... Jesus Christ. They were literally just on one of these other podcasts saying that they were really upset when they found out from the medical examiner's information that it wasn't fast. I'm so tired of how they're like, oh, this isn't a documentary. This isn't a conspiracy. Like, I'm tired of hearing it. Like, we know that. That's why we take this seriously. We want the damn truth. Like, we don't need to be told. We don't need to be told. We're not babies. Okay, well, hold on. Let me go back and just open up their page in private, since they have me blocked and they think that I can't see them anyway. Okay, yeah, I got it right here. Hold on. Oh, and thank you for the $4.99 wit. Okay, it's right here. Okay, so this was apparently written by Aubrey, the youngest daughter, the one that they just sent off to college. It says 1,352 days. That's how long it's been since Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Goncalves. She didn't list her sister first. Why didn't Aubrey list her own sister first? That's weird, you know? That's kind of strange. Okay. Since Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Goncalves, Maddie Mogen, and Xana Kernodle were murdered, I wasn't planning on saying anything today. But after seeing that the man who admitted in court to murdering 4 innocent people now wants to withdraw his guilty plea, I couldn't stay silent. For him, this may be another legal filing. For me, it's another day without my sister. I'm Aubrey Goncalves. I'm Kaylee's little sister, and Maddie wasn't just Kaylee's best friend. She was a family. She was my big sister, too. I don't know life without November 13th, 2022 anymore. Every birthday, every holiday, every family gathering, every milestone, it's 2 people missing who should still be here. They were silenced without a choice, without a second thought. They were murdered while they were sleeping. They were not sleeping. They were not asleep. They were fighting back. This has already been proven that they weren't asleep. In the place they should have been safest. They never got the chance to tell their story. They never got the chance to ask for mercy. Mercy was never going to be shown to them. So why should the person convicted of taking their voices continue to have one? This isn't a Netflix documentary. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't entertainment. This is my life. We know. It's also 4 people's lives that are lost, and the truth isn't like out there. The truth isn't being told. So this really, honestly, isn't about you. It isn't about Christy. It isn't about Aubrey. It isn't about Steve. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about the truth. So I don't understand why people want to take everything so seriously and make it like personal. Like, yeah, cool, I get it. It's your sister. But if you actually cared about your sister's case, why don't you stop listening to your parents? Sit down, Miss College Girl, Miss Adult, Miss Over 18, can be talked to like she needs to be talked to. Why don't you sit down and read the documents? Why don't you sit down and don't be like Olivia and actually look at the discovery? Don't be like Christy. Don't be like your parents. Actually sit down and read it. If you care about your sister, you want the truth out here. So let this go to trial. Don't complain about it. You should be celebrating because holy shit, now you're going to get everything that you've always wanted. Now you're going to get to see this actually play out in court. Read the information. If you can go to college, if you can be a mother, if you can go do all these things that adults do, you can get underneath your parents' wings, get out from that, and actually pay attention to stuff yourself. The sleeping narrative right there tells me that you haven't. You've let them tell you what to think. That's not how this works. I urge the Goncalves children not to do what their parents are doing and get to the websites and read the information and take the fact that you are Kaylee's freaking siblings as the power that you actually do have with that and contact the state yourself and ask real questions. You have the power to do that. You don't have to listen to them. You can go out there and get the proof and the facts yourself. This tells me you haven't. Back to the old bullshit. All this stuff that comes out, all back to the same old bullshit. I don't understand. And every time this case is dragged back into the spotlight because of another filing, another theory, or another attempt to rewrite history, families like mine are forced to relive the worst days of our lives. For years, people have ignored the evidence because it doesn't fit the narrative they've convinced themselves is true. You're talking to yourself, babe. See, we came into this holding pitchforks wanting him to go. Then as the evidence came out, our opinion changed with what was actually coming out as evidence. We don't just let somebody tell us what to think. We figure out what we think on our own by using our eyeballs and our brains and thinking and making the deductions and figuring out on our own. You should maybe try. Like, honestly, because this is literally you talking about yourself, your whole family. They ignore the DNA recovered from the knife sheath left besides my sister, the surveillance footage tracking the white Hyundai Elantra before and after the murders, the cell phone data documenting his movements that night, his phone disconnecting from the network during the window of the murders before reconnecting afterwards, the repeated trips investigators documented to the King Road neighborhood before November 13th. See, she hasn't read a freaking thing. Even the Cy Ray dumbass who's now out here trying to act like he thinks Kohberger's guilty when the truth is he's full of shit. Even he is saying, no, we can't put him in that neighborhood. We can literally never, not even once, put him in that neighborhood. Do you see what I mean? If you can take off and go to college and you can go live an adult life and go do adult things, you can start doing your own research on your sister's murder. Because everything you seem to think you know is wrong. Everything. Tracking what Hyundai Elantra? Have you even looked at that security footage? Have you read the email correspondence about how that thing was identified? Or are you just listening to what your daddy's telling you? What your mommy's putting in your ear while she lies to Chris Hansen? Be better. Be better. Only you can do that. Be better than this. This is crazy. My God. The eyewitness testimony, really? Eyewitness testimony? We're really going to call that eyewitness testimony? Girl, you're about to have to be branded a crackhead. I don't even know what else to tell you. This is some crackheaded ass behavior. This is some crackheaded ass behavior. The forensic evidence, the digital evidence. Jesus Christ, what digital evidence? What are you talking about? There's none of these things. Girl is cuckoo. The countless hours law enforcement spent piecing everything together until it all pointed to one person. You poor, bless your heart child. Oh my God. Then there are the people who insist it would have been impossible for one person to commit these murders in the amount of time investigators established. It wasn't impossible. Experts explained why. Where? In one little document? You mean the cops? The little weirdo cops who don't even know what the hell they're doing half the freaking time and are way too dumb for their damn positions. They told you that? Or did your daddy tell you something that a report maybe said and you actually didn't actually read it at all? Because then you would know that those aren't experts. Those are police officers. I don't think we've had an actual expert come out and tell us that. Because it would have to be like an expert in murder. An expert in hand-to-hand combat. Brett Payne is a cop. Gilbertson is an ISP detective. Talbot is a detective. Those are not people that are qualified to do that. All they did was fake some in the air stab marks while they ran around a house, honey. That is not an expert. No, it is not. 1 minute and 45 seconds. Are you serious? And again, does she not know the fact that there's no blood coming out of Xana's room? Does she not know the fact that there's no trail in between the crime scenes? Does she not know that there's multiple unknown male DNA on that knife sheath that she holds so much weight to for being next to Kaylee, which means there's 3 other potential males besides Kohberger on just the damn knife sheath? How do you explain that, little girl? How? You could if you read the documents or listened to your parents. Seriously. What hurts most, as much as losing them, is watching strangers turn their murders into content. People that are turning it into content know the facts. Hello? At least we know what the hell actually is going on here. You are so clueless. People make videos for views. You write weird posts and show that you don't know a lot of information, but go off. People create conspiracy theories for attention. Your father created a lot of false information and lied a lot. Your mother too. We have the facts for that. I'm not talking out of my ass. We have the recordings. They said this time, and then, oh, look at this date. They said something completely different, and we've got like 30,000 of those. So, lies about your sister, lies about Ethan, lies about evidence against Bryan Kohberger, lies against connections. Does it matter to you that your parents are out here lying to the world? Does it matter to you that they're out here lying about your sister? Does it matter to you that they're out here disrespecting your sister's wants by still calling Jack Ducour her boyfriend, even though she was trying to hook back up with another guy just 12 hours before she died because she was done with old Jackie boy, the child in her eyes? Does none of that matter to you? Matters to us. These people just making videos. It matters to us. When they're done, they close the app and go back to their lives. No, we don't. I couldn't even go get a massage the other day without Xana's decoration and the decoration in Kaylee's room and in the living room being in my face the whole time. There's nothing I can do ever that doesn't have something in the back of my mind when it comes to this case. So no, that's wrong too. You're wrong. We don't. We walk past an urn every day holding what we have left of Kaylee. That's our reality. People tell families like mine to move on. No, we don't. No, we don't. I mean, your mama just said you were going to move on, and then she LOL'd just a few hours ago. So this is probably not the best way that you should have posted this. Maybe you should have made sure what the other post said before you chose this one. And never mind the fact that, what was it that Jim Chapin said? Oh, we're down one, time to move on. right into a mainstream media camera, standing in front of some tulips, trying to look all cutesy and shit. That move on statement's still crazy for y'all. But how do you move on when your sister's life has been reduced to an urn sitting in your family's home? How do you move on when every birthday, every holiday, every accomplishment reminds you of everything she should still be here for? You get to put this case away when you're tired of hearing about it. No, not really. No, not 4 years in, we don't. Sorry. My family doesn't. We live it every single day. So I'll leave you with this. Why should the man convicted of taking 4 innocent voices continue to have a platform loud enough to reopen old wounds, while Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan will never get another chance to tell the world who they were? Well, there you mentioned your sister the first time. I don't know. Maybe because you need to look further into false confessions. I would really just implore you, do your own research before you come out here with these poems thinking that you actually did something. Because this is just telling me y'all don't fall far from the tree whatsoever. You don't. Don't come out here chastising the people that are the reason why y'all even have any damn discovery to begin with. You're welcome. I didn't used to be so cocky about it, but I'm just so sick of it now. If it wasn't for people like us out here filing FOIAs, they wouldn't have 80% of the information that they have a year later. That's because of us. The state didn't give them shit. 20 pages is all that they were given of Kaylee. But because of people filing FOIAs and getting more information, discovery that gets released to us gets released to the families too. If it wasn't for us, they still wouldn't have nothing but them 20 pages. And it's funny because as soon as they started getting all this discovery, all of a sudden they wanted to shut everything down. Don't read the documents. Don't look at the photos. Don't ask any more questions. You're a pro-burger. You're a freak. You're a weirdo. If you start asking questions, it's closed case. What you're still wasting your time for? Because none of the questions were answered. And the evidence doesn't equal the narrative. And it's more than beyond obvious that there's a shit ton of problems here. And maybe if people weren't bought little bitches, they would actually start paying attention to what's going on and not just do what they're parroted and told to do. I'm so sick and tired of people that are in all these other people's pockets, always having the biggest voices in all of these stories, because none of this should surprise anyone. This should not be a shock to the world that this is happening right now. We have been talking about this shit for years and even more hardcore over the past year. Really been stepping it up over the past 3 months. None of this would be shocking to anyone if people got off of their stupid cable TV and actually went and found a source of information that doesn't have an agenda to lie. I'm telling you right now, the way that News Nation and all of these people are going to end up covering this is going to tell everyone a lot, because this is the truth. But see, unlike those people, those people, those mainstream people, those News Nation people, the ones that get out here and they talk on camera about these cases, they don't give a single shit about these cases. You know why? Because they have a script written for them. They don't care. They don't retain the information because somebody else writes it for them. They don't have to do any thinking. Their questions get written for them. Their statements, everything gets written for them by someone that you've never even seen their face before. See, for us, it's different. We do all of our own research. Therefore, it stays here. So while little sister over there wants to complain so much, I bet you she's not going to complain about the fact her daddy's going over there to Jesse Weber, who really is just going to close this off at the end of the day and go home, because that's his paycheck. He doesn't care. He's there to talk about no matter what story it is that they hand him, and he's going to do it with a smile, with this big old Johnny Bravo hair, and he's not going to give a shit at the end of the day because it's just another story that he didn't have to even look at, that he didn't even have to memorize the person's name. It's right there on the teleprompter. Yeah, that's so much better than this, right? Amazing. Amazing. Okay. Let's go ahead and read these. Okay, so this says, again, it has the Idaho Maximum Security Institution address, the old case number where it's 4 counts of capital murder and felony burglary, Date of sentence, July 23rd, 2025, life without parole plus 10 years. Check whether a finding of guilty was made after a plea. It says of guilty. Did you appeal from the judgment of conviction or the imposition of sentence? No. State concisely all the grounds on which you base your application for post-conviction relief. Ineffective assistance of counsel during criminal proceedings is A. B. Plea not knowingly or voluntarily entered because it was induced by unkept promises. And C. Plea not voluntarily entered because of threats asserted by petitioner's legal counsel. See right here where it says threats? That's why my thumbnail says what it does. What do you mean by threats asserted by Ann Taylor? What do you mean? What kind of threats did Ann Taylor say to him? And it would have to be Ann Taylor because she is the lead defense attorney. She's the lead in that office. Saying that you were threatened is a big word. Saying that you were threatened is a big word, especially saying that the threats are coming from your counsel, your attorney. Petition in state or federal court for habeas corpus? No. Any other petitions, motions, or applications in any other court? No. And then down here it says, number 9, if your application is based on the failure of counsel to adequately represent you, state concisely and in detail what counsel failed to do in representing your interests. Let me make this bigger. Okay. A, failure to disclose of or review exculpatory evidence, i.e., unknown hair in Chapin's hand. He specifically mentions the hair in Chapin's hand during plea discussions. B, counsel's insistence that petitioner's plea need not be truthful despite petitioner's vehement denial of actual guilt. C, promises made by counsel regarding LWAP, life without parole. LWAP. No. What is AP? Additional something? I don't know what that means. LWAP status, i.e. immediate contact, visits, freedom of movement, employment, and elaborate lies of death or life, DP or life, death penalty or life. And then 10 says, are you seeking leave to proceed in forma pauperis? That is requesting the proceeding to be at county expense. He says, yes. Are you requesting the appointment of counsel to represent you in this case? And he says, yes. State specifically the relief you seek, a withdrawal of a guilty plea. And this was filled out on July 22nd. And here's his signature right here. Certificate of mailing, Latah County, July 22nd. Okay. So now we have this one getting into the court and being filed on July 27th. Petitioner, appellant, and then state of Idaho as the respondent. Motion and affidavit in support for appointments of counsel. Comes now Bryan C. Kohberger, petitioner appellant in the above entitled matter, and moves this honorable court to grant petitioner appellant motion for appointment of counsel for the reasons more fully set forth herein and in the affidavit in support of motion for appointment of counsel. Petitioner appellant is currently incarcerated within the Idaho Department of Corrections under the direct care, custody, and control of Warden D. Governor of the Idaho Maximum Security Institution. The issues to be presented in this case may become too complex for the petitioner appellant to properly pursue. Petitioner appellant lacks the knowledge and skill needed to represent him/herself. Petitioner appellant required assistant completing these pleadings as she was unable to do it himself or other. And then signed July 22nd as well. I'm currently residing at the Idaho Maximum Security Institution under the care, custody, and control of Warden D. Governor. I am indigent and do not have any funds to hire private counsel. I am without bank account, stocks, bonds, real estate, or any other form of real property. I am unable to provide any other form of security. I am untrained in the law. If I am forced to proceed without counsel being appointed, I will be unfairly handicapped in competing with trained and competent counsel of the state. If they do a petition, we'll be sharing that shit out. We'll be doing what we can with it. We just need something official that's connected to the families before we can start doing that, because I've already seen people asking about that. And until that we have something official from the families, do not trust any links. Do not trust any GoFundMe links to start getting money. Let's actually like make that like a big thing. Okay, let's make this a public freaking service announcement. Okay, people are probably going to try to use this to get people to donate money for shit that's not real. I've already seen a couple of people say that they wanted to start raising money for something like this for Kohberger, but the family wasn't aware. Kohberger wasn't aware. Nobody that's involved was even aware or involved or even knows these people. You do not give money to things unless you know for a fact that there is a direct connection to the source that it needs to be. So once there is something, once there is something from family, somewhere where it direct connects to this, yes, go time. But until then, please pay attention. Please don't just listen to anybody and everybody who's telling you anything. Please do not click on any links to donate money to anything. Wait until a verified and confirmed source tells you that something is going on, because trust, whatever happens, we're going to find out like that, and it's going to spread like wildfire when it actually happens. But please be careful. Please be careful. There's going to be stupid people out there. Please be very careful. Please be very careful. Okay, so this one is pretty much the same thing, I think. At least it looks like it up here, except for right here, he has defendant circled. And over here on this other one, it says petitioner appellant. And this other one has plaintiff defendant. But I think it's pretty much the same thing. Yeah. It's the exact same document. Yeah, it's the exact same document. Okay. Yeah. Oh my God. It's just so much. It's just so much. There's always been so much. I'm trying to see if there's anything. Has anyone noticed anything about whatchamadoodle? Christy maybe being on Sean Hannity? Let me look at it on like searching. I think she's interviewed by herself with him before. No, it's something with Newsweek is what I'm seeing. Christy Goncalves, 48, the mother of victim Kaylee, told Newsweek in an exclusive interview that she believed Bryan Kohberger was playing games over his plan to change his plea. America has seen our family go through pain for many, many years now, she told Newsweek. It wasn't the news we wanted to wake up to today. It's just games. It's just judicial games, she said. We don't think there's any merit to it at all. Goncalves dismissed the idea Kohberger had been coerced in any way, adding that he had pleaded guilty in court. Okay, so we're just going to forget that Christy took off and left her drunk as shit husband alone with a microphone in his face during a live on YouTube where he, because loose lips sink ships, okay, where he literally told the Scott guy from Crime Talk, who's an attorney, that Kohberger wanted to file an Alford plea, which means that he wanted to maintain his innocence. If Steve knows that, and I don't think that Steve would ever say something that makes Kohberger look like he's more innocent than people already think he is. You're not going to admit that if you're Steve Goncalves, that Kohberger wanted to keep his innocent stance. You're just not going to, in my opinion. So because I feel and know for a fact, based off of his behavior and how red as everything was, okay, it's more than obvious they were not sober at CrimeCon, okay? So when he wasn't thinking because he was inebriated, he said some shit he probably regretted the next morning. So they cannot sit here and pretend now that that didn't just happen a month ago. So don't sit here and say that you don't believe that he was being coerced in any way when your husband literally said, we rallied around that. I don't know. Sounds like coercion to me. Doesn't it? I'm so tired of them. I'm so tired of them, bro. I'm so tired of them. So for him to now say, you know, he didn't really know what he was getting himself into with the plea deal. It's just funny, she added. We're very confident that this will go nowhere, she added. We're going to remain focused and we're going to remain positive. Oh, yeah, because you don't want that WS lawsuit to go away for the millies, right? Right? But in case of a judge were to accept it and give him a new trial, we're all for it, Goncalves continued to Newsweek. So either way, we're like, it is what it is. We're really not trying to put ourselves in a place of worry or despair, Goncalves said. We've been there. We've done that for so long now. Idaho Attorney General Raul L. Labrador said in a statement Monday, I posted this earlier. Brian Entin must have asked him for a statement. I don't know where his statement was originally posted, but Brian Entin had posted it and I took a screenshot of it and I posted it in the community tab hours ago. And this was a statement that was made by this guy that the office was ready to do whatever is necessary to ensure justice was carried out. My heart goes out to the families of Madison, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan, who have already endured unimaginable loss and now must face today's deeply painful news, he said in a statement on X. My office stands ready to do whatever is necessary to ensure justice is fully carried out. So he posted it on his own social media. I don't think anything in here is anything we don't already know. Proving a manifest injustice typically requires concrete evidence of ineffective assistance of counsel, prosecutorial misconduct, or an involuntary plea. Overcoming his past actions will prove difficult, as Kohberger previously affirmed under oath during his change of plea hearing before Judge Stephen Hippler that he was entering the plea voluntarily because he was in fact guilty. Furthermore, because Kohberger waived his right to a direct appeal as part of his plea deal, courts view post-sentence retractions with deep skepticism. And then stuff about the family. Huh. Yeah, now, remember, and we mentioned this at the top of the live, but I just want to, say it again. The Mike Baker guy that Melissa, Kohberger's sister, interviewed with a few months back, he is who Kohberger seems to have had a phone call with last night. I wish we could have the phone call, man. I wish we could have the phone call. I would love to hear the phone call between him and Mike Baker. I wonder if Mike Baker recorded it. Or I wonder if he requested it. If he didn't record it, I wonder if he requested it, if he could have it because he's the other party. I would just really like to hear that conversation. They say they didn't mention anything about case evidence or anything like that, which is totally fine. I don't expect them to, because you could really mess up anything that you're trying to do when you go to court if you're out here saying certain things that are specific to the case. Like, you're just not supposed to do that. I just really wish we could hear that conversation. I'm trying to see if I can find anything about her talking to Sean Hannity today, and I'm not seeing anything. Oh, found it. Oh my God, is it not going to play? Hold on. Is it going to end, or is it good? Hold on. We're having severe loading issues. if I close some of this shit off. Hold on. See, I found this right here, but it's not wanting to play. It's acting up. Hold on. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. It's not wanting to play. See, I was just doing this over and over and over and over and over. Let me see if I can get it to play on the Fox station, the Fox website. Because maybe that's what they wanted me to do. Oh my God, it's just spinning. It's just spinning. Yeah, it's just spinning. I've never had a video not want to freaking play. Let me see if I can find it now on YouTube. Not with that title anyway. Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. But it's not wanting to play for me. So if y'all want to see it, here's the link here. So that y'all can go click on that if you want to. Right there. But this one right here, it's not loading. And it could be because it wants me to log in. It could be because I have my VPN on, you know, all these different things. I'm just not turning it off. See, and it says it was on Hannity. Poop. Poop. Let's see. No, it's not showing up on YouTube yet. I don't know why it's doing that. Let me see if somebody on Twitter has it. Oh, Trashy Banfield was on some show talking shit. Trashy Banfield, Brad Inton said he saw the photos of hair at Ethan Chapin's hand. What? Bryan Inton said that? Oh, God. See, I don't even want to really deal with Trashy Banfield or any of that bullshit. Because all they do is run their mouths and they don't even bother to read anything. People are just running their mouths all over the place about him filing an appeal. How do these people just seem to forget the fact that there's no answers to anything at all? Annoying. Annoying. I can't believe it's not wanting to play. How annoying is this? I don't know what's going on with it. I'm trying to see if there's any other statements. Because, like, we know what the Goncalves family are saying. Is there anyone saying anything from any of the other families? Like, is anybody making statements anywhere else? I haven't seen anything. Let me see if Kara said anything, because I still have her on Facebook. I haven't looked. The damn thing will not play. That's getting on my nerves. No, Kara really hasn't said anything. She posted like a Bible verse like 10 hours ago. And then 17 minutes ago, she just reposted something about Xana. But she's not making a statement about it. Does anybody know if the Chapins have said anything? That's what I would love to know. That's what I would love to know. I mean, maybe Mike Baker is. Maybe he's actually taking time and he's listening to all of the interviews and he's seeing the issues. And maybe that's the reason why the family seems to trust him. Because it seems like they trust him. But I don't know. Let me see if I can see what where that thing was about Jesse Weber and Steve. Jesse Weber and Steve. Annoying. Yeah. Right here. Hold on.
Okay, Jesse Weber Live. First, arguably the biggest story of the day. Bryan Kohberger wants to take his guilty plea back. Okay. My legal opinion, good luck. Good luck. I'll explain why that's so tough. But more importantly, I'm bringing on Steve and Christy Goncalves.
Oh, both of them.
Parents of Kaylee Goncalves. Just when you think that they could move on, close that chapter in their life, now they have to revisit this, arguably a whole new legal process. I want to get the reaction.
Trying to read some documents.
Nolan Wells. You know, I've been following that case. So new audio dispatch was released.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on. Even the David and Celeste Rivas Hernandez stuff finalized today too, to where he is going to go to trial, which we already knew he was going to go to trial. Yeah, right. Okay, Steve Goncalves talks Bryan Kohberger's possible appeal. It's not possible. It's been filed. What you mean? See, 3 hours ago, Jesse Weber posted this. Steve Goncalves talks Bryan Kohberger's possible appeal. No, he did appeal it. It's posted. It's posted. Bro, Jesse Weber Live posted this 3 hours ago and not a single person reacted to it. That's wild as hell. Interesting. Newsnationnow.com. So that means it's going to be like on a cable TV type thing. I'm not trying to watch that shit. I am definitely not trying to watch any of that live TV stuff or sign up for like literally anything else. I'm over it. I'm not seeing anything. I really want that damn video to get to load. Like, what is the frickin' issue? Why are you not loading? Oh my god. I finally found the damn video I wanted and it's not wanting to play. That's poop. Yeah, I still can't get it to play. Oh, man. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead. Ooh, that's loud. I guess I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here. Since I can't seem to find the clips that are going to play that I want to see here. Well, let's see if I can click on this one. Hold on. The same link. This is so annoying. Yeah, it's not wanting to play. It's not wanting to play, but we came on here and we did what we needed to do, which was go over the documents, go over the petitions that were filed. I cannot wait to see what the frick happens here. I wish that we would have been in the room when Judge Hippler got that this morning to see his face when he had that put on his desk that this was filed. Oh boy. I bet he just held that little bald head in his hands for a whole hour, just contemplating life. This is so crazy. Oh my God. This is so wild. I cannot believe. I mean, I can't obviously believe, but I just cannot believe it's happening like right now. I honestly thought that it was going to be like real dramatic. I mean, this was dramatic, but I really thought that they were going to file something. He was going to file something like right at the deadline. Like whatever the last day of August was, right before September, the beginning of September, because I'm pretty sure that like the September 1st is a Monday or some shit. September 1st is when I have the kids' homeschool schedules always to start. It's always the very first day of September. Pretty sure it's a Monday. Nope, it's a Tuesday. So see, like, so myself thought that it would have been like real dramatic and be like the last day possible, right? So considering the calendar and it being like, I think the 3rd was a Thursday, that would have been like the last, like the deadline. I figured it was either going to be filed like Wednesday the 2nd or first thing Thursday morning on the 3rd. I figured it was going to be real last minute dramatic like that because they like to do that. Lawyers love to do that. It's a shock factor, but they've done it so much, it's like expected now. So that's just what everyone always assumes people are going to do. So I'm glad to see something filed so early. I'm just really curious as to who are they going to assign to him? Because it's more than obvious that Ann Taylor, like we were already told by the people who knew things could happen here that nothing could happen until Ann Taylor was out of there. So I wonder if Ann Taylor's reactions to what Turvey did and then how like Cyree came out and she didn't say a damn thing and didn't do anything about anything and getting to maybe people are telling him or somehow he's able to hear the interviews that Turvey went on or Chris Whitcomb went on. Now I did have somebody ask me about tablets. Now I don't freaking know. Okay. I've had 2 speeding tickets in 40 years of my whole life. I don't know what goes on in there. I just know what I've heard goes on in there. And the way that I understand it is, yes, they have tablets, but it's not just like open-ended internet. Now, I don't know if they can get on YouTube. I don't know if they can get on YouTube through a tablet. I was just under the assumption that they had to like pay for songs, pay for movies, every phone call and every text message and like email text messages back and forth cost a certain amount of money. Photos cost more to send. Then there's video calls that cost money. And they only are allowed to happen in like certain segments of time. But as for just like being able to get on YouTube, I don't know. I don't know if that's something that they can do now. I don't know. But I know that his family watches YouTube. I know that his entire family watches YouTube. So I'm sure they're telling him stuff in some way, shape, or form of what's going on out here. Plus, it's his own discovery. So there's no way that at some point, like, he hasn't already been handed like all of this information that was being held away from him, and he's gone through it and realized, like, she never said this to me. She never told me this. What the hell? Why wasn't I ever informed of this situation? How come nobody told me about this? He's probably been sifting through all of it tripping. You know? He's probably been sifting through all of it tripping out. So we will just see what happens, but I am excited to see where this journey goes. I highly doubt that all of this is being done for nothing. The only time Kohberger has ever changed up was the plea. And look how long that lasted, a year. And now he's like, yeah, we're not doing this. I was lied to. I was threatened. I was made promises. This is not happening. He's the only person with the storyline that has stayed consistent the entire time. And when you look at a family who's lost their daughter and you hear things about how they didn't want to be interrogated or victimology interviewed by detectives, they didn't want to be interviewed deeply. They threw a whole fit when the cops wanted to talk to them. They want their daughter's phone back because they don't want the cops to get into it because they're worried about what might be in there. The one phone that, you know, nobody can get into happens to belong to the IT man's family, happens to belong to the family that said that they all shared passwords to things. Yeah, that's sketchy as shit. Everything about the Goncalves is sketchy as shit. And honestly, I don't know if it has anything to do with the crime or not, or self-preservation because they got some shady shit going on and they didn't want the cops to find out by digging. And maybe if they didn't actually talk to them, no digging could ensue. I don't freaking know. But all I know is that their behaviors are shady as shit. From the day that they got the phone call from Sabrina and didn't do shit about anything for hours and hours and hours, all the way to today. Sitting there pretending like coercion isn't possible when your drunk ass husband just said how much y'all rallied around him not being able to stick to being innocent with an Alford plea. Like, y'all already came out here and spilled too many beans. Too many. Too much. Too much. All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump off of here, you guys. Thank you so much for coming in here. Thank you so much for being members, coming in and joining, gifting memberships. That's freaking amazing. I love when y'all are nice to each other. Super stickers, super chats, all of the little gem thingies. Those are so cool. All the little gem thingies. Yes, thank you for that, Lady Di. And thank you for giving me the information earlier about it showing up on the iCourt site, because I was just about to go out the door to go handle what I needed to handle right before I took Zelda over to the vet. And I wasn't even trying to look at nothing and just happened to get notification. But that's the same thing that happened when I was on the phone with Ariel and we found out this was going on. I just so happened to get an email. And the person that sent it to me, I don't know if they're okay with me saying their name, but her I'll just call her by her first initial. Thank you, T, for sending me that. I very much appreciate it. When she sent me that email, the story was only 7 minutes old. Story was only 7 minutes old. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I don't know why no big lawyers are on it yet. Maybe some big lawyer will actually go in. Yeah, they're annoying as hell. Maybe somebody who's paying attention now and maybe has been paying attention. Maybe they were waiting for a move to be made. I don't know. But I'm hoping that there's somebody with a name and a backing that is paying attention to this, because people are not enraged by the thousands upon thousands just for funsies. There is legitimate issues with this case. Legitimate issues with this case. And the first one that gets on my nerves the most is, where the hell were Xana and Ethan? When did they get back to the house? Call who tomorrow, huh? Who am I calling? Who am I calling? Well, and that's another thing. All of my files are on the shared Google Drive. So if people need to use those for anything whatsoever, they right there for everybody to get to. Gilter's comment said it's not about reading the documents, it's about comprehending them. And someone replied and said to comprehend them, you must read them. Yeah, no shit. That's what's so freaking hilarious when Christy and them come out and they chastise us. But then in 2 sentences later, she tells us how she hasn't read anything. That she didn't open the documents, that she doesn't catch up with all the stuff. She doesn't keep up with everything. It's so crazy. It's actually so freaking insane. Oh my God. I'm so glad something's shaking. Holy shit. I'm so glad that something's shaking. Damn. All right, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Thank you so much for coming in here. The fight continues. This is some freaking awesome shit. I cannot wait to see where this goes. I want it to go to trial. I want this to go to trial. I want them to have to present everything, including your little map, Syray. You know, the one you gave over to the prosecution that apparently shows this alternate route that Kohberger apparently took. Produce it. Show it to us. Let's go. It's go time. Come on. Hopefully we see that come trial. All right, you guys, let me make sure I have the right thing on here. Tomorrow is Tuesday, so as long as Zelda stays copacetic and if she stays good and doesn't get any worse, I just got to remind myself I can't freak out if she doesn't actually eat anything tomorrow. That's okay. But we should be on live tomorrow. It's Tuesday where we normally do 2 lives for Tuesday, so that's what we're going to end up doing. Got to make sure I have all this on here, right? Sorry, guys. I did not have it set up before we went to go leave. All right. I'm going to jump off. I'm going to go try to listen to the Jesse Weber thing. I'm going to end up recording it, and we'll do a reaction to it tomorrow. As long as it pops up somewhere tonight, that'll probably be the first live for tomorrow morning. So let's keep your notification bells on. This is great news. What a great freaking day. A crazy day, a little bit of a scary day, but what a great freaking day. Holy shit. All right, you guys, get some rest. Try to breathe. See y'all.